afternoon. I'm Corey Suzzoni. This is Michael Jang, Corey Sterling, Quentin Quadras, and we are the production team behind Lights Computer Action, the prose to screenplay converter that saves hours, if not weeks, of tedious typing and lets the screenwriter get down to the fun part, being creative. In this presentation, I will introduce you to what a screenplay is and how its pedantic formatting takes forever to write. I will then show you how our solution to this makes the screenwriter's life so much easier. Next, I will take you behind the scenes of Lights Computer Action and show you how the magic works. Finally, the production team will give you a live demonstration of a novel being converted into a screenplay and give you guys the opportunity to ask some questions. First, a bit of background. Growing up with two parents in the film industry, and then later going to film school, I got to see the hundreds and hundreds of hours that hundreds of people put into making a film. By the time it actually goes to cinema, hundreds and hundreds of hours have been put in. Scripts alone can take years and years to write. Some of those hours are fun and exciting, but many are boring and tedious. Now studying computer science, I'm passionate to find ways where we can use computers to help that process be a little less tedious and a little more fun. This project was an opportunity to explore where computer automation could help make that screenplay process a little easier. Meet the screenplay, otherwise known as a movie script. Probably should turn this thing on first. There we go. A screenplay tells the cast and crew of a movie or TV show how to act, film, direct, and edit a movie according to the writer's intentions. As you can see, screenplays are written in a very prescribed format with prescribed margins, centering, and capitalization. Even the font is usually Captain Courier New. I will walk you through this example from the 1995 BBC Pride and Prejudice miniseries. First, every scene has a scene heading that describes exactly where and when in the story a scene takes place. This tells the set builders and location scouts what scenes they need and tells the lighting crew whether they need to light the scene to look like day or night, evening, morning, etc. These bits here are called actions and describe what a scene looks like, what people are doing, and so forth. They can also describe things like fight choreography or action sequences. Then we have character names, capitalized and centered, and then the dialogue. We also have these things here that are called parentheticals, and they go between the character and the dialogue, and they're basically acting or directing cues that tell the actors how to say something or who it's being said to. Something sort of like this. There are also other things such as camera angles and editing cuts and so forth, but we'll leave those for now. So basically, that's a screenplay. As film crews are large groups of people, sometimes hundreds of people, sometimes working over 90 hours a week, a screenplay is required to keep everyone on the same page and doing their various jobs in the production. The problem with this pedantic format is that it takes a long, long time to write, especially if you are adopting a 300-page original text with verbose Old English dialogue and long intertwined storylines. For anyone not familiar with it, the original text of Pride and Prejudice was 270 pages long. At about 15 minutes per page, I timed it, attempting to transcribe this page here through the Celtics program. You are looking at over 70 hours of typing and mouse clicks just to transcribe the original 270-page text into screenplay format. This can get very tedious and prohibitively time-consuming for a screenwriter considering adopting a large original text. But what if you could do this, the 70 hours of work, in just a few minutes? Introducing our solution, Light's Computer Action, which does exactly that. Light's Computer Action relieves the screenwriter of the tedious parts of their job by following the same workflow that an actual writer would follow in converting a text to a screenplay. First, it reads in the entire text. Next, it breaks that text down into smaller, manageable pieces and filters them. Finally, it rewrites the text into screenplay format. We will now go behind the scenes of Light's Computer Action and show you in depth exactly how our software does this work for the screenwriter. We will also briefly note on some of the technology we used in some of the subsystems for Light's Computer Action. So the first step is to read in the entire text and try to understand the story that is being told. For example, a writer would look for characters' names and find the text within quotation marks to see when someone is talking and what they're saying. A writer would also look for paragraphs describing what people are doing or where they are. This is exactly what the first stage of the Light's Computer Action processing chain does. The first stage, which we call the Light's Computer Action Parser, is our fundamental core engine. It is written entirely in the Python programming language and uses natural language processing to analyze the source text. Natural language processing, or NLP, is the cutting-edge field of computer science that helps a machine to understand written or spoken language. You may have seen or used natural language processing, as it is commonly used in applications such as internet search engines, speech recognition or autocorrect on your smartphones, voice-controllable GPS systems, and automated customer service phone systems that talk to you on the phone when you call Spark or whatnot. The basic concept behind natural language processing is to pattern match bits of speech and then categorize them into the parts of speech, nouns, verbs, and so forth, and convert those into computer data. The Light's Computer Action Parser uses this technology to process the source text and extract any data that tells the story, such as characters, settings, events, and relationships. These pieces of information are then extracted from the parser stage and passed to the Light's Computer Action linker. So the next step that an actual writer would take in adapting a prose text into a screenplay is to organize the story. A screenwriter needs to decide what needs to be included in the final screenplay and what doesn't. For example, the original novel may have an entire page dedicated to describing the house or room that a scene takes place in or the whole story takes place in. Whereas in a screenplay, that might be condensed into, say, a couple lines. Therefore, most of those original action lines, when you go to the screenplay, can be gotten rid of. The Light's Computer Action linker replicates this process of organization. Written in Google's Go programming language, the linker organizes the output of the parser into the screenplay elements, such as acting directions, lines of dialogues, character names, and so forth. For example, the linker matches up lines of dialogue with the character who is saying them. The linker also looks for descriptions of how characters are talking and who they are talking to in order to find those parenthetical descriptions. The linker also filters the screenplay elements. For example, many of the original action lines are deleted if there are too many of them, or if they do not contain a specific reference to a person or a place. The last part of the process is for the linker to bring everything together into Light Computer Action's XML-based file format. So the final real-life stage in adapting a screenplay is to actually be creative. The screenwriter would arrange the actions and characters and dialogue and all of that into a coherent and engaging movie. This is the part of the process that Light's Computer Action lets the screenwriter skip to. Powered by the Light's Computer Action compiler, the user interface loads and displays a correctly formatted screenplay. The tailor-made nested data structures of the compiler allow the elements to be modified, deleted, and searched. This gives the screenwriter the ability to handle the scenes of their script like a digital library. It's much more efficient and quicker than traditional writing methods and offers an excellent solution when it comes to viewing and editing scenes. This is owing to the fact that the software is able to break down and process the scenes individually. This brand new solution allows a modern and intuitive approach to screenwriting and to the creative writing process. However, at any time, the user can export the screenplay to other external software packages, Celtx, Final Draft, and so forth, if they want a more traditional workflow. As well, the Lights computer action system has the ability to print to paper, export text files, and so forth. So we now present to you Lights computer action, and we will give you a live demonstration of the software running. So we're going to bring in just a small text file. For a full-length piece, it takes about 1.5 to 2 minutes for it to actually process. So we'll just process a really short one first, just to show you this running. And as you see, it's going through and parsing the original text, populating the characters. So we've already got a laundry list here of all the characters it's found, more or less. Actually, there's still a few bugs of things it's picked out that aren't actually characters. And also the scenes list is something that still needs to be worked on. How to actually figure out when a scene changes, as it can be a bit of a tricky sort of mental thing for a computer to wrap its head around. But here's one we prepared earlier, if you go to the other one. And this is an entire novel translated into a screenplay. We skipped ahead to it here just to save the 2 minutes of processing, but it was done just the way the other one was. So if we pause here for a second, you can see we have the bits of action, we have a bit of a parenthetical here, and bits of dialogue, and then again to action. So we are able to actually now translate that. The screenwriter can then go ahead and edit it as normal. As you can see, it takes the majority of the repetitive work away and allowing them to simply be creative. Today, in the space of a few minutes, you've seen this handle this. To handle a process that would normally have taken weeks. Now all that's left is to send the script to Wellywood. Thank you everyone. That was Lights Computer Action. That's a wrap.